welcome back to my channel. As you can already tell from the title of this video, today we'll be talking about self-harm. Who does it? Why do they do it? Plus my very own story of how I started and why I did it for so long and how I stopped. I think that's a really important part of this video. I don't think I will do all this in a day, so there's going to be a part 2. Watch out for it. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you click on the red button down below and remember to turn on the post notification bell so that you can get notified the next time I post. With all that said, let's get right into it. So number one, what is self-harm? Self-harm, as you know, it's quite self-explanatory actually. It is simply hurting or harming yourself to get rid of feelings or thoughts of distress and such like stuff. But the thing with self-harm is it's only temporary. It's not a cure per se to the thoughts or feelings of distress. It's only temporary, because most of the time, 98% of the time, the thing that is causing you this distress is still there. So it's just a sort of temporary relief, if I may put it like that. The other thing is, how do people self-harm? Well, there are many different ways. Number one, there are those who cut, like make cuts on their hands, on their thighs. There are those who hit walls or things around them. They bang their heads on walls. There are those who drink. Yes, an addiction can be a form of self-harm, or consuming something that is toxic to your body. So that brings out another aspect. People who self-harm know that it is wrong. They know it's wrong. They know it's not okay. They know it will hurt them. And they know it is not a solution to their problem. The other question is, why? Not really. The other question is, who are these people who self-harm? Well, you might really be shocked. I put out a post on my Instagram and WhatsApp, and I asked people what they thought about self-harm, if they know anyone who does it. And the thing is, most people won't admit to it. If you asked me a few years ago if I was doing it, I'd deny it to your face. But then it's more common than we think. Yeah, it's like how suicide attempts, for example. Anyone can attempt suicide. It's not just for the young ones, it's not for the old ones. This is something that happens all around us, and sometimes we are not aware of it. A few weeks ago, one of my friends, actually, I realized that she had some of these markings on her hands, and I knew what it was, but then I just didn't know how to go about it, how to ask the right questions, how to advise, and then I realized this is something that I hadn't spoken about to anyone. This is something I had been going through a few years back, and I wasn't able to talk about it per se. So that being said, let me just also mention that self-harm is not a way of attention seeking. It is not attention seeking. It is not suicide. Most people think that people who self-harm most of the time just want to end their lives. Well, I think this is where I give you guys my personal story. Yeah, so this happened a few years back. I was in high school. Is it important? Yeah, I was in St. George's Girls Secondary School. Yes, it's along Dennis Pitt Road. And well, before that, I had attempted suicide so many times. I think about six times in the 3 years that I was there, but it had nothing to do with the school. Yeah, Senji was a pretty cool school. I couldn't complain much. I'd say I was actually privileged to be in that school. It's better than most of the provincial schools that I knew of or had about. So this one time, it was Form 4 first term, right before we went for midterm. So we were studying for, I think the final paper was chemistry. Yeah, and I think we were supposed to have our results after we come back from midterm or something of the sort, because we were about to close for the midterm break. And yeah, so chemistry was my final paper, and despite the fact that I loved chemistry, I was trying to read with one of my friends. Let me call her Sophia. So I was with Sophia trying to read, and you know how you read through one page of a book and you're trying to get the content that is there, but you keep on going back because your mind is just not there. And I was feeling so much tension. I was feeling numb. I was feeling quite messed up. So I decided to go to one of the washrooms that was a little bit farther away from the class, just to wash my face and just relax, sort of. So I washed my face, and when I look in the mirror, I don't know, there was some sort of adrenaline rush, and I hit the mirror. That was just Apple. And so it collapsed and it fell. And I could hear people rushing, to see what had happened. Typical Kenyan behavior, we rush towards the scene instead of running away. So I panicked and I walked quickly outside the washrooms. I went back to class. So Sophia asks me, like, Celine, what's happening? Why are you shaking? And then she takes a look at my hand, and I have pieces of glass in my hand. She helps me pull them out, and yeah, that was that. And then the lunchtime bell rang and people went outside, but everyone was talking about it. I remember that day I had my lunch in the staff room. It was a weekend, on a Saturday, I think, or no, it was on a Sunday. And so yeah, there wasn't like teachers in the staff room. I had my lunch there, and then let me fast forward to the time we were closing, for midterm, and my mom came to school, and my class teacher told her, before you go home, Celine has to pick a letter from the administration. So my mom got like angry. She's like, Celine, what am I going to find out? What are we being called for? Let me know before I find out. So I told her I broke a school mirror. I think that's what it's about. And she acted cool, at least now she knows. And we got that letter saying that I was actually being suspended, for 2 weeks. So after the 4 days of midterm, I wasn't supposed to return to school. I was to wait for 2 more weeks before I can report back because I was on suspension. And the other thing is I had to get at least 3 signed letters from a counseling office or institution to show that I had attended at least 3 sessions of counseling for anger management. Yeah. So my mom acted cool all this time, and then we finally got to, on our way home, we passed through the counseling place. It was, I think, just around T-Mall. It's the money counseling, whatever. And at the time, they were charging 5,000 shillings for just 1 session. You see, and I had to take at least 3 sessions. So that was coming to around 15,000 plus, other costs, transport, getting there, and all that. And we weren't well off at the time, still aren't, but then my mom at the time didn't have a job also, so I think it just got really frustrating for her even to think about how I need shopping when I go back, I need pocket money, I need transport, and then she has to pay an extra 15,000 plus my school fees. And school fees in St. George's wasn't cheap, still isn't, but yeah, I'm talking about then. So she asked me on our way home, she was asking me, Celine, why did you do it? Why did you hit that mirror? And I tried to explain how, I knew best. Tried to explain that I didn't know what I was feeling. I just punched the mirror and it fell down. And she asked me, why didn't you just hit your face? Why didn't, I'd rather come to school and hear that you're in the sanatorium, because you hurt your face, but now I have to buy a school mirror, I have to, pay for your counseling and all that. And those words kind of haunt me for a really long time, and I, just thinking about it, she would rather I punch my face, if I really had the need to hit something. Those were her words. If I really had the need to hit something, why didn't I just hit my face? And those words hurt, honestly, but for me it was sort of like a way out. I actually thought about it and I'm like, yeah, maybe if I hit something else, the repercussions would be sort of less expensive and all that. And that's where the cycle began, my cycle of self-harm. From then on, I used to get angry and I'd hit a wall. I used to get angry and I'd punch my locker, stuff like those. But then at some point I realized hitting things just brings attention, a whole lot of attention to me. Someone will hear a sound and they're like, what's happening? Celine, are you okay? And that's not what I was looking for. I wasn't looking for attention. I was seeking a way out, a way to release that tension. I wanted to feel something, even if it was pain, just so that I'd stop feeling numb. And yeah, I think for today I'll just stop there. So I'll let you in on how that went and how I progressed towards self-harm, to more advanced ways of harming myself. But yeah, for today I will stop there. If you have anything to say about this video, if there's an experience you'd like to share, a question you'd like to ask, anything, just make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you think. Also, if you liked this video, remember to give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye.